Hi there, my name is Phil Bacon, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, ring the little bell so you are notified when new videos drop. And Screen Rant, the ever unreliable Screen Rant. But yeah, sometimes, occasionally, they say things that aren't amazingly stupid. And I don't know if this is one of the time. They had an article out yesterday saying that the Dr. Ruth, the Joe Martin Doctor, is going to be the next Doctor, which, is a theory I think that kind of holds water. There's evidence for it. There's evidence against it. I really think that Jodie is just doing one more episode, but I don't know. Well, two things I don't know. I don't know how much of me thinking that is driven by me really wanting her just to do one more episode. In fact, wanting her to do 0 more episodes. So I don't know how much of my belief of that is driven by that. Or my belief in that is driven by sanity and reason. I have this weird need for sanity and reason. So I just kind of imagine that that Jodie's done, but I would also say Chris Chibnall should be done as well. Really, I don't understand what they're staying around for. They're certainly not doing very well. They're certainly not going. I think as they expected it to go, especially when they did all that pre-publicity before season 11, and they put out that podcast after that they recorded just after Jodie did her first episode, The Woman Fell to Earth, which had fantastic ratings. Everybody tuned in to see what it was like. So she said, "Look, I did it." But I think this is a common thing that the Twitterati, the blue checkmark Twitter Taliban that works in the entertainment industry makes, that they will claim victory in a freaking heartbeat in a second. And then, then like 2 years later, when it takes that long for the data to come out, to say that, no, it's actually a massive failure, massive failure, they'll go, no, it wasn't, no, insert, because that's just what they're like. What can you do? So we're going to go over this article in Screen Rant, which says strong evidence for Joe Martin being next. So honestly, I reread her interview in Doctor Who magazine from last month. And I think she'll be a far better Doctor. I really do. I don't know how good the scripts will. I mean, I do know how the scripts will be. I can't imagine Chris Chibnall has the ability to write a good script. When I say good script, a script with 3-dimensional characters who you can believe in, and a plot that's not boring or preachy, which he kind of chooses one of the two. What should we do this week? Should we go for boring or preachy? Oh, I don't know, maybe go for both. But that's basically what they choose, boring or preachy. And I don't think he can write things without massive plot holes, because he's just not very good at his job. It's just the bottom line. So I don't think he's been failing to do all those things, maliciously. I just think this is the best he can do, and he's just in over his head. So, I'm really upset with him, how he's like so arrogantly really damaged Doctor Who, that it is going to take, in my opinion, some significant fixing to put it back together again. But the other time, I do feel really, really sad for him, because he's so desperate for recognition and love, like why? I can't understand why his life is so empty, but I genuinely do feel bad for him. Okay, so fine, let's read the article. Before we do, can I ask you guys, can you hit that subscribe button? And if you're already subscribed, please can you make sure you're still subscribed? I've reached the dizzying heights of my YouTube channel that YouTube is unsubscribing people. That's okay. That's kind of crazy. I guess it must be a bot thing. But if you're subscribed, can you make sure you're still subscribed and hit the like and the share button? All those things are fan-frickin-tastic, and I am genuinely very, very appreciative for you, each and every person doing it. And to encourage you to do it, I give stuff away on this channel. So the stuff I'm giving away this week is really good. It's Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, the Fellowship of the Ring. I was going to say the 2000. No, The Fellowship of the Ring. It's in my hand with the title written on it, and I was still confused. You see, that's what you're dealing with. So it's a 4-disc set. It's got the extended edition of the movie with like an extra hour of footage or something like that, and like 2 discs of making of just fantastic production values and packaging. All you need to do to win it is subscribe to the channel, but that's not all you need to do. You need to subscribe to the channel and be a bit lucky. You need to subscribe to the channel and leave the hashtag treebid. Hashtag treebid, and we'll do the prize drawing of the 26th. Sunday the 26th, when I'm on the TARDIS Zone with Noel, unless I forget, and I'll do it the next day, because I did that happened last week. Okay, fine. So let's. Oh, but also there's a Doctor Who audio venture in the video notes. Go check the video notes. All the instructions you need to win everything. Hey, go check the video notes. There's all there. Fine. Let's look at this article. Doink. There you go. Okay. Ruth is the next Doctor after Jodie Whittaker with strong evidence. And again, to me this seems like a good move and a good idea, and I can believe this is what Chibnall is setting up. With with the Doctor Ruth at the time of children. Fine, so I'm going to skip a bit because it goes on for a lot. Waffle. It basically just recaps, tells all the normie who Doctor Ruth is, and that she was a she was living as a married, I think she was married, tour guide in Coventry, and then she was revealed to be the Doctor who had disguised herself with a chameleon arch, and everybody assumed that she was a Doctor before Hartnell because she'd never seen a sonic screwdriver before, and she didn't recognize Jodie Whittaker. But equally, Jodie Whittaker didn't recognize Doctor Ruth as well. So they basically just bring everybody up to speed. No. There is, however, one striking problem with this theory. Martin's Doctor, Joe Martin, is piloting the same TARDIS, which is already stuck in the shape of a police box. So I don't want to help them out. I don't want to help them. But if she is a pre-Hartnell Doctor, you could do it that for some reason she got really into having a police box TARDIS before she was Hartnell, and then when she had a mind wipe, she just had like this instinctual love of a police box, which eventually drew her to have the police box. But that doesn't make sense because that doesn't fit in with an unearthly child. Where they said, look, it just changes. It's just dumb luck that it happened to be a police box. So yeah, okay, so it's going to be very hard explaining what. It doesn't matter. Okay, the basic bottom line is that doesn't really matter because I think interest is lost in this series. But I mean, I'm just making like these references, these reviews, these videos to chart its demise. I would say when people call me a hater, that's fair. I do genuinely hate this era of Doctor Who, and I think that's one of my biggest motivations for charting this era, how much I absolutely hate it. But I would say to you that love plus betrayal can easily love plus betrayal and a warping of that thing you love can often turn to hate. I used to work on the Jewish divorce court in Miami, and so we used to do quite a few of them a week. But you do see that. People if you love, there's no hatred like the hatred that there is for something that you used to love. Now, I still do love Doctor Who. I really see that so much with these watch-alongs. I love it so incredibly much. I didn't realize how much I loved it, but I just hate this era. I hate it intently for its many terrible crimes it's committed. Fine. So the police, but this contradicts all established. This contradicts all the established canon Doctor Who because according to the episode, The Doctor's Wife, the Doctor had no prior history to the TARDIS before the fateful day he stole it. Yeah, okay, yeah, we know that. Screen Rant, you're on the same page with the fandom ends. We know it injects plot holes throughout the entirety of Doctor Who's 57-year history. Yes, we all understand that. That's yes, and I think that's why we're a little bit miffed. I think that's why that's why it's not going down so well. There's another gazillion reasons why it can't be the case as well. Contradicts the rest of Doctor Who. Okay. Meanwhile, the Chameleon Circuit only broke when the TARDIS landed in Earth 1963. Did it break then, or did it break when it went back to prehistoric times? Yeah, is that when it broke? Because that's the time it's stuck in a police box. So. Okay, that's a pedantic part. William Hartnell's Doctor settling down so his granddaughter could have an education. Well, they moved around. They were moving around a bit. Fine, I'm being nitpicky. That was made clear in the very first Doctor Who story, An Unearthly Child, in which Hartnell looks at the TARDIS, now stuck in the exterior, the TARDIS is now stuck exterior and complains that the Chameleon Circuit has broken down Other doctors are frequently references. Yes, okay. Well, yes, you're saying everything that we already know. That it doesn't work. It's called a plot hole. It's called and all the other plot holes. It creates as well. And I don't think the brain of Morbius really quite erases those plot holes. In fact, by the way, I heard a much better theory for what the Morbius doctors were. This was from the Discontinuity Guide by Paul Cornell, Martin Day, and Kevin Topper, I think. Is that who it was? Yeah, whoever it was, Discontinuity Guide. They floated the theory that those mysterious faces were neither the Doctor nor Morbius, but rather they were phantom incarnations generated by Tom Baker's Doctor to help him win the mind-bending tournament, which really works a whole lot better than any other, I think, any other solution I've heard put forth. Okay. The Doctor's season 12 finale confirmed there are indeed past incarnations of the Doctor. Confirmed it to you again. For me, this is not Doctor Who. This separated it from being Doctor Who for me. Let's say that the entire Jodie Whittaker era just isn't. At first, I was just going to pretend it never happened. Now I'm genuinely erasing it from history. I will find some way in my headcanon of making it not so. And I had this back and forth with somebody on Facebook yesterday. Well, they said, listen, it's the BBC. They can decide what canon. They can decide what isn't canon. And that is indeed correct. They can decide that. But, they can decide what they want to be canon and what they don't want to be canon. But the audience has to accept it. Without the audience accepting it, they've done nothing. And the audience has not accepted it. That's just the truth. The audience has not accepted it. And they haven't accepted it for many reasons. But the plot holes within the story itself, and the plot holes it creates within canon, and for me, one of the major reason I find it hard to accept it than say Lung Barrel or one of those other really really good stories which I like, Deadly Assassins, things that change the law. What is the motivation is so transparently I would say racist and bigoted. It's this problematic view of white men. Oh, so stupid. That's where we are. That's just where we are. Okay, so the Doctor Who signal confirmed they were indeed additional. Confirmed with you. Their existence previously concealed by a mind wipe. God. But it came by a mind wipe, but apparently it also erased their part of the Doctor's route of his timeline, because we saw his entirety of his timeline at the was it on Trenzalore with Clara, and they didn't see any of this bit. So yeah, that's more. It's more of a reality wipe. And geez. Chib, do you not want to hire me? You could have said reality wipe, and it would have worked. That would have actually made it better. God, it's so easy to fix your idiocy, and I come cheap as well. Honestly, I come pretty cheap. But Chibnall deliberately avoided confirming whether or not Ruth is one of those new doctors, new past doctors. Where do you fit into this? Whittaker's doctor challenged when confronted with Martin's in the Matrix. Were you me all that time ago? Were all my memories of you erased? No answer was forthcoming, suggesting the mystery is still to be is considered unresolved. And I would actually agree with them there. I don't think that was a plot hole. I think there probably is a mystery that is to be resolved. But Chibs, why do you think people are willing to stick around for a 3-year story arc in an incredibly unpopular iteration of Doctor? I mean, incredibly unpopular iteration of Doctor. And so I actually don't think that was a plot hole. What I do suspect is a plot hole is why the evil sentient toilet paper from what's it called again? The Ghost Monument knew about the timeless child. And when it's been erased from reality. If they come back to that and they answer that question, I will be amazed. And they come back to answer it, it's stupid as well, because your general normie public has forgotten about that. This is the sort of thing that you would answer in an additional scene or something you put out online, which you don't do because you don't care about it as much as the people who used to make Doctor Who. That's really just the bottom line, I think. Okay. The Judoon add another wrinkle to the plot because something about their story doesn't make sense. You figured? You think? Yes, we've all noticed this. These brutal aliens fancy themselves as the galaxy's policemen, and in Martin's era, they are working for the Time Lords. I don't remember that, but I don't really remember much of her era Doctor because it's so mercifully forgettable. That seems distinctly odd, given that in Tennant's era they were part of the Shadow Proclamation. I also got the feeling that the Jadoon were a mercenary police force that could be hired by basically anyone, and being hired by the Shadow Proclamation. And I guess they were being hired by the section or whatever the idiot thing he called it, to track them down. I did, but well, whatever, fine. So as it revealed, the Shadow Proclamation revealed that they had believed the Time Lords to be nothing but a legend. Oh yeah, fine. It's not like they thought the Time Lords were a legend. Yes, because we saw that a week ago. A cosmic myth. It doesn't really fit into the idea that the June had used to work for the Time Lords, because it's reasonable to suggest their knowledge of galactic affairs have been shared with their colleagues in the Shadow Proclamation. So again, there's ways of writing around that. I doubt Chibnall's going to, because so thus far, unless I'm working on just what I've seen on screen, he deals with like very surface stuff. He just doesn't think things through. Again, like the whole that portal that they zapped them through to Gallifrey. Where was that portal going to? Like, what was the whole deal with that portal at the end of the universe? Like, they said it changed, and so had it been taken over by the Master? Where were the humans going that went through the portal? I think the entirety of humanity was destroyed through the Doctor's sheer idiocy. I just think that's the clear inference from what happened, because that seems to be what happened. Fine. At the end of the Timeless Children, the Jadoon burst into the TARDIS. Yeah, ridiculous. How on earth did that happen? Burst into the TARDIS and arrest Whittaker's Doctor. Yes! I am for capital punishment in this case. Fulfilling winning what they called a cold case. But, okay, so now I think we're finally starting to get to the theory. But if the Doctor was a Jadoon cold case, why didn't they arrest him during the Tennant era? Again, it's because Chibnall didn't think about that. They're not going to deal with that. He just didn't think about that hard. Because he can't, because he's a dummy. He certainly identified himself as a Jadoon and Stolen Earth, and they appear to have intimate recollection of all their cold cases due to their obsessive nature. On close examination, the final scenes of the Timeless Children offers a hint that not as all as it seems. No, I think it's pretty awful. I think it seems to be awful, and it is awful. The arresting officers enter the TARDIS. Yeah, ridiculous. How they do that? The arresting officers who enter the TARDIS is the same ones okay, this is where it gets weird. Is the same ones who attempted to capture Martin's Doctor on Earth in Future of the Doom. There, Martin's Doctor brought shame to Cole Condon by removing his horn, which that was a kind of a weird bit. Can you take a horn off a rhino that easily? I thought you had to like saw them off. Isn't that why they killed them for them? Okay, a demonstration of her superiority. The horn is back in the Timeless Children, suggesting that things are happening out of sync. Well, how do you know he's the same guy? Did he also have was it a mohawk? So yeah, actually, that's okay. Fine. So you're actually coming up with quite a reasonable theory there, which I think could well be suggesting things are happening out of sequence. As far as the Jadoon are concerned, their arrest of Whittaker precedes their pursuit of Martin, as the Doctor might put it, timey-wimey. So they're saying that their arrest of Whittaker at the end of Timeless Children happens before Fugitive of the Jadoon, for the Jadoon timeline, and when she eventually escapes, they are pursuing her, and that's how they eventually end up finding the Dr. Ruth Doctor. Again, I think they would be really smart to just go with her. Just like, I think any change at this point will help staunch their failing ratings. Although I think it might be too late. I don't know. I just don't know. If this is the case, the Doctor has unwittingly caught in a spoiler-filled glimpse of her future. Well, she's created more of the future because she's an idiot, and she has even met her future incarnation. It's true, Martin's Doctor claimed to have no recollection of the encounter with her past self. Okay, but that may not be significant. That sounds pretty significant to me. The Doctor has always tended when he or she feels it is necessary in any case of multi-Doctor stories, have suggested memories become blurred. Again, blurred and indistinct, not erased from reality. Good God. No, that's dumb. That's a dumb answer. I'm sorry. No, that's dumb. There may be another reason, but this is dumb. whenever different doctors team up. It's entirely possible she was unable to remember anything until she parted ways with Whittaker, and then the memories snapped into place. Yeah, again, that's really clutching at straws. And also, I have to say, the fact that these two doctors split up at the end of Prisoners of June was just one of the stupidest bits of writing that I can remember. It was so dumb. Okay, we had two doctors, and they said, "Oh, I'm the doctor," but neither of them recognized each other, so neither of them could be either a past incarnation. That seems to be a bit of a question. But what do they stick around and try and find it out? Then they go, "Tra-la, bye," and they just forget about it because that's how Chibnall writes. He just kind of forgets about things. This suggests that Chibnall has taken the bold choice of being an awful writer, casting the new Doctor before Whittaker has even left. I tell you, that sounds like something he might do, and it seems reasonably audacious. And if it wasn't for the significant drag factor of his insane lack of ability, I might be, I would actually applaud him for that. But he just tainted it with all this disgusting, bigoted politics. Ugh, disgusting. And introducing viewers to her to get used to it. Again, I think it's very credible. That sounds reasonable. Meanwhile, he has also teased Time Lords as a resurgent force in the cosmos, returning once again to their apparent destruction at the hand of the Master. Yeah, that was dumb. They could even be the Shadow Proclamation successors as the Galactic... No, for God's sake. Yeah, okay, no, that's just stupid. After all, they have hired the Jadoon as their police force. Okay. The Timeless Children deliberately established a new degree of emotional distance between the Doctor and the Time Lords of Gallifrey. What, because they're all dead? I don't think so. Okay, because she now knows no Time Lord at all, but she now knows she was no Time Lord at all, but rather a lab rat. Yeah, again, one of the reasons why this is so hated. You're just trying to be like, you're assigning motivation and thought where really I don't think any occurred. If they listen, if you're right, mate, you're right. I will come back and say you're right, but I don't think so. It's not hard to imagine a scenario where the Time Lords themselves become the Doctor's greatest foes. Yes, masters of the time space, no longer eschewing intervention, but instead enforcing their will upon reality. Sounds like the kind of nitwit, Section 31 thing that Chibnall will do. If this theory is correct, Whittaker is moving towards her last scene. Yes! Well, hopefully she's already moved to it. And the pieces are... Oh, by the way, when she said, look, I'm in season 13. If she's in that one episode, she's not lying. She's telling the truth. I'm in season 13. Putting things in place of the end game. She has been arrested by the June and is certain to escape, thereby becoming the fugitive, and by extension the fugitive of the Time Lord. Yeah, okay, that I believe it. But if the Doctor figures it out, the encounter with her future selves means that she can consider herself forewarned. She knows the Time Lords are coming back, and it's likely they would prefer to act in the shadows right now. Okay, I think that's the end of it. Fine, okay, yeah, so in short, who cares? Really? In short, who cares? And that's the crime of Chris Chibnall. Who cares? We had last night, I thought I'd be able to do a video on it, where you had 10 of the Doctors together to thank the NHS, including, 8 Doctors and the 2 cosplay Doctors. So it's... And I thought I was going to do a video on that today, but it was just kind of so quick and uneventful, and nobody cared about it. It was nothing. Who gave a crap? And that's really, again, the crime of Chris Chibnall. He's made Doctor Who into a social irrelevance, where it was socially so important. Again, and we're just seeing. Remember, last week we saw Stolen Earth and Stolen Earth and Journey's End. Do you remember what a big deal that was? Do you remember what a big deal Bad Wolf was by the end of the first season? Everyone was talking about it. He's made Doctor Who culturally irrelevant. And I just think that might be a good reason to say sayonara. That might be a good reason to move on and find something else to do. My name is Sheila Beckett, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, subscribe, ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop, and have yourself a fantastic day.